Alright, this is going to be a video on how to run the Ziggurat Zcash network crawler. Now, the network crawler does not require a full node. It can run standalone, and itself only actually requires Rust. We're going to run it with JQ to be able to fetch data while it's running, but otherwise it'll put out data after we stop the crawler itself. Now, the crawler will output a sample JSON file, and we can run that in another program called Crunchy, which will aggregate the data and only requires Rust, and then that will output a state JSON file, and then we can put that into P2P-Viz, which requires NPM, and that will let us see nodes displayed on a nice map with various network connection lines going here and there, and you can look around. And I'll go over those two things, but ultimately we only really need to run the crawler to get some good information off of that. Now, like I said, it doesn't require a full node, but it does live inside of a Zcash folder. So if you have one in your home directory or wherever you're going to install it, you may want to put it inside of another folder so there's no name conflicts. In that case, I went ahead and created a folder. It's called Run Ziggurat, and that's where we are. So we're going to run git clone. And then we will copy this repository's address. Paste that right in there. And we will clone into Zcash folder. Okay, now let's change into it. Alright, now the crawler itself lives inside of the source folder, src, tools, crawler. And in here we'll find the documentation on actually how to run the crawler. Now this command will output the help page, which is this right here, but we'll go ahead and run it so that we can compile the program and make sure everything is right. We'll just paste the cargo run command here and then let it start building. And this will take just a minute. Now, whenever we run the crawler, we need to provide a seed address or a DNS seed, which is required and is going to be the start point from which the crawler actually starts going out and finding more and more nodes. We'll provide an RPC adder argument, which will let us call information from the crawler without having to actually stop the crawler, because otherwise it's designed to just output the file and information to the console whenever you stop it. And that's it. Okay. Now, in order to get the information onto the console with our curl, with the RPC address flag, we need JQ, which is just a simple little thing for displaying JSON queries. I imagine that's what that stands for on the terminal. Download, install JQ, sudo apt get install JQ, no problemo. Rust, rustup.rs. And if you already have it, then you would do rustup upgrade, and then you would have the latest version of Rust. Now, to get an example of this cargo run command with the applicable flags, like I've just mentioned, that will run with this basically copy pasta command on this address. we can come to the forum here, Ziggurat 3.0 thread, on the 26th post. This command right here is the literal command, except with the seed adders removed, and we'll paste in our own seed IP address. Otherwise, the RPC address flag is exactly as it should be. And this curl command will basically output all of those metrics into a file that we can use with Crunchy. And I will show you that when we get there. Okay, we are built. As you can see, here's our help. Alright, so we'll remove the help flag and we'll add seed adders. Now, in order to get some seed addresses, we'll come here to zcashblockexplorer.com, and if you go into the tools, you'll see nodes, and that will be right here. And we'll copy off just a couple of these. Want to be mindful of the spacing. Alright, maybe one more. Okay. And then we're going to add the RPC adder flag. 127.0.0.1 colon 5.32. And I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Okay. And we're ready to start running the crawler. Alright. Now the crawler will call every 20 seconds out to the network with the nodes or addresses, I guess, that it gets. And it's going to start putting a whole lot of IP address information and stuff out onto this console. The longer it runs, the more it will find up to a certain point. And then we will set up to run a curl command. And we'll just be here in the run Ziggurat folder like before, although you can call this from probably any directory. I'll just copy this off. But as you can see, it's not the JQ variable. Okay, here's the crawler, as you can see, going now like crazy. Thousands and thousands and thousands of addresses. Some of them, as you can see, end with the 16125, which I believe are part of a different network and stuff like that, but the 8233 ones are Zcash. We'll take this information from the file that we get and we will filter out all of these other nodes, so we just get the Zcash nodes. Alright. Now, like I said, in the example, we basically take that same command, but instead we're going to pipe it, I suppose, into jq.result instead of using the forward arrow character here. So we're going to pipe jq. Now, result. Now it's important to know that the actual result is a very long, very, very big file. In fact, it's so big that we won't even be able to see all of it. We get like the tail end of a whole bunch of numbers and stuff like that. So in order to get something meaningful, we can apply another parameter to our result, .result, and we'll say .user agents. USER_AGENTS. Now we have more specific data. In this case, we've got a zebra and we've got the 5556 nodes that are still active. Anything below that, I believe, is deprecated now. And the crawler is still running. If we Control C, we'll get basically this info plus another couple of fields. We can change user agents to protocol versions. And we have 28 so far that we've discovered. And like I said, after we run it for a while, it'll find more nodes. 9, 2, 10, 10, 1, 32. We run that again. We've got maybe 10, 13, 1, a few more. Okay. Now, we want to get a file for running Crunchy and for running the p2p.viz. And so to do that, we will run the command on the form. This very specific command, and this will pipe it into a file in our current directory called latest.json. Okay, and that's it. We can ls, and we can see latest.json is right there. All right. Now let's just copy. Let's go back to the Run Ziggurat page, and we will grab p2p.viz and we will grab Crunchy. Basically the exact same way. Just copy the URL and we'll run a git clone from within the directory. Another couple of terminals opened up to keep everything nice and neat. Without multiplexing it anyways. Same here. Oh wait, this is the home directory. We'll change CD. We'll run git clone. And we want the Crunchy page. Alright, so now we should have Crunchy in just a minute. Here we go. And we should have p2p.viz. Yes, we do it here. Okay. Crawler is still crawling. We can run the command to output the file again, and it will just overwrite our old one. Here we go. Okay. So first, Crunchy. CD Crunchy. Oop. Now to run Crunchy, this is another basic cargo run command, but there are some flags that we need to adhere to in order to run it. As you can see, it gets an input file, which is that JSON file we just created in the here, latest.json. That's the one that we just created. We're going to add that as a flag input file. We need to define an output file name, give you whatever we want, and an IP cache file. And this describes basically the format of that file. This is the actual usage with the flags, where we will define the filter for the Zcash types, and where we'll define the input file name, output file name, and so on and so forth. If we scroll down to the bottom, we have a nice copy pasta version ready to go. Now, since this is not compiled yet, It's going to take just a few minutes. We also need to change the name of our sample.json file. Now, it's looking for it inside of the test data folder that is inside of the Crunchy folder. So, what we could do, very simply, is either pipe the latest.json file into the Crunchy test data sample, or test data file, or folder, excuse me, or we can just copy and paste it there ourselves. So let's just go and do that. Copy. And go to Crunchy test data, and we'll paste it right in here. That's it. Latest.json. Okay. Now let's change sample to latest. Like I said, you could have named this whatever you want. And we will output a state file. We'll call it state0, just so we know. And then the GeoIP cache will just leave however it is. Crawler is still going. We have our file moved. Yeah, I think I just copied it. I didn't actually cut it. And we're ready to run Crunchy. Oh, wait, we've got to set the filter. Oops, almost forgot the filter. You're going to want that, otherwise you're going to have thousands and thousands of nodes. So we'll do -F, Zcash, capital Z. So, -F, Zcash. Alright, now this will basically take only a few seconds to run and just aggregate the data. But like I said, this is the first compile, so this might take just a few moments. Now with running p2p.viz, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to need npm, which is fairly common. It can be installed a number of ways. I use nvm, and then just update with that. There is a, this is how to install curl. Yeah, you need curl to curl that data. There's a Medium article about how to do exactly this. Basically install npm with nvm, and if you happen to be on some older version of npm, like you had already done this, then you can run nvm install --lts, which is latest, and it'll bring you on the updated version of npm so that you can run p2p-viz, this one here. Also, we'll need curl. Still compiling. We'll wait for it to finish before we build p2p-viz. And we can go ahead and stop the crawler here in just a few minutes too, to get a output after a few minutes, a little more updated. Alright. And so, for the little bit of time we ran, we found 46 Zcash nodes. And now we can take the file that this thing created, and it's kind of providing some information about it, and run it in p2p-viz. So, let's see, p2p-viz. Okay. We'll go back to instructions. As you can see, we'll run npm I, npm run build, npm run start http. And then after that, we'll just come back to the browser and click on this link, and it should go to this. Fingers crossed. Let's go ahead and stop the crawler. And Control C. Now, as you can see, protocol versions, 582 nodes, which was a little bit more than what we just saw. Versions 561, 551, 560, 590, and then zeros. Running for 12 minutes. Very good. All right. Let's see what happened here. Run. We'll run npm audit fix to take care of these things. You really might see these. I think I saw them every time that I tried to build this. As you can see, we can upgrade. So we can run npm install -g npm to install. Let's go ahead and just do that. Looks like you need to sudo it. All right. Let's see. Now we want npm run build. Let's see what happens. Well, let's try what I suggested earlier with the nvm. Install it. Yes. Right, or there's a dash dash install. Let's see, that's a dash there. Have npm. So, the easiest way to do this is to install npm. That's what we're going to do. It says to restart it. Okay. This one says to restart the terminal, or I can export all this. Let's go ahead and restart the terminal. That's okay. Let's close this. Build. Dash dash. Yeah, install. Dash dash. L6. Checksums matched. Woohoo. Alright, let's try. Version, just version, dash version. Yes, dash version. Let's try it now. Okay, now it's running. So, install NVM and then use npm. Maybe not. That's all good. No, wait, it's running. Some minor updates, some colored warnings. Okay. And now let's run our run command. It's complaining about it failing to build. Just a couple warnings. Alright. Now is server listening on 3000. Server port 3000. Boom. There we go. Alright. So we'll click geolocation. We'll go to the docs. Here we are. And see select geolocation, and then we'll select the zero, what was it, state 0 file that we selected. It'll pop up like a file explorer, and you just pick it, and then it will load the maps and stuff for us. Okay, so let's do it. Geolocation. Load. We'll choose state file. The load unfiltered demo, unfiltered demo. I think that's just what's in the state file. State. Did we just call it state? No, these are all older files. Oh, I know, because I'm in the wrong folder. Goofy. That was a different folder. Sorry about that. Okay. Latest. We want test data, state 0.json. Alright. There we go. There's a few nodes that we found. We can I zoom in, O zoom out. Rated graphics accelerator on this one, but as you can see, kind of drag it around. Click on the little network, web lines, toggle the command, so on and so forth. Alright, that's it. Like I said, I know with NPM and NVM, this was the tricky part that I had. And so I suppose it's good that it all kind of went, bad. You had to watch me do it. I thought that I already had it installed. But maybe it's per the directory or something like that. I'm not sure. Anyways, yes. Just go ahead and follow the installation instructions. Not for curl and JQS, but here installing NVM, Medium, how to install Node.js and NPM using Node Version Manager by Node.js. He's smart. Yeah, but that's it. That's the crawler. That's Crunchy and P2P Viz. Let's do it one more time. Let's just run through it one more time, okay? All right. Now I don't remember exactly when I paused the video, but as you can see, the crawler is still going. Let's go ahead and grab another latest file. We'll call it latest 2. Okay. Now let's go to Crunchy. Where's Crunchy? I don't have Crunchy open. Now let's run Crunchy with our Zcash filter into a state 2 file, and we were looking for a latest 2 file. And we need to copy that file. Yes, right there. Okay, here we go. Now let's go ahead and stop the crawler. We'll see. Now, as you can see, found 129 in 56 minutes. Okay. All right, we have our file. Now let's go to the Explorer. We're still running our server. This, okay, location, state file, and where did we output a state 2 file. Yes, 1 minute ago. Okay. And as you can see, there are a bit more nodes, especially if we connect them. Yeah, that's a big old spider web. But yeah, there you go. That's how to run the crawler and how to run the other 2 programs. All right, have a good one, guys.